sort of camping out. We're sort of constrained as to what we can serve for refreshments. So I'm delighted you've all made time in your busy lives to come out this evening. We have, as always, a busy agenda, a full agenda. You see that your neighborhood is in full bloom. This is a wonderful time of the year to live in Rosedale Park. I couldn't pick out which was the best picture to use to get us started, so I picked out 3. But the whole neighborhood's in bloom. If you haven't had a chance to drive around and look at how beautiful it is, give yourself that treat. So, as always, we're going to quick look at the agenda. We're going to sing our anthem, Lift Every Voice. And we have our soloist and our accompanist with us tonight. Frank is going to give us a quick, efficient financial report. We've got a staff member from the Planning and Development Department to update us on the latest on the Grand River streetscape, which there are some major revisions to that you'll learn about tonight. We have our Island Recognition Awards, finally. And Community Service Awards, and we have a Lifetime Recognition Award to present as well. We have new neighbors to meet. We have 10 more new households since we were last together in the middle of March. And I hope some of the new neighbors are here tonight. We have news about our June Day Parade and Picnic, our 60-block yard sale. I'm going to show you a vintage bumper sticker and see what you think about maybe us ordering some more. And we're going to look at some pictures of what we were managed to accomplish at our recent cleanups on Detroit Partnership Day and also Motor City Makeover. We really did fantastic work, if I say so myself. And then we'll close. So if we're ready, we'll have our anthem. The words are on the back of your agenda. And if you would please, everybody rise.
membership as of just a little bit ago, we're up to about 440 to date. I'll probably be sending out a reminder postcard week after next, so kind of just before June Day. Then I got put a reminder on there about June Day too. So we'll be putting that out. About a fourth of our members are paying using PayPal, which is an increase over last year. So more people are taking advantage of that. Other than that, unless you have some questions, there's not a whole lot to talk about, to be honest with you. Everybody's working within their budget on the various committees, so.
How many households have paid for this? Did you say that?
Yeah, we'll be about 440 as of tonight. So pretty much on pace with where we are in past years.
Do you have questions for Frank? We have 440 homes have paid. Our goal is always to try to hit 600, which is about 40% of the neighborhood, which is really kind of a small number, but compared to the other neighborhoods in Grandmont Rosedale, we're like, wow, we're hitting a triple home run. So we're still going to try to improve, but we're pretty much on track where we should be. Okay. So I appreciate each and every one of you for stepping up, because we can't run on fumes. We have to have resources. So everything we do is because of you. So give yourself a hand.
I am in the process of sending out the block rosters to the block captains so they can see who's paid. A lot of you like to get that, so you should have that probably in the next week. Do a few every night. It takes a while. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Great. Thank you, Frank. All right, next up, an update on our Grand River Streetscape project. Join me in welcoming Michelle Flournoy from the Planning Department. She's an urban designer. You'll remember this was the map we looked at before. We've been studying as the months have gone by. We have some new information, so I'm going to put that in line. So I guess just to start, I was curious, how many people, well, can you hear me? I can hear myself through this stuff. No more? Okay, I can do that. And maybe just so that I can click the slides forward too. All right, I can do this. So how many people have come to any of the planning meetings for the Grand River Avenue Streetscape? Awesome, good. So we have a pretty good number. I'm going to give a shorter version of a presentation that we gave May 1st, which was the final MDOT design presentation that was at Cockrell. The full presentation, as well as the full corridor plans, are on the website, and that'll be at the end of the presentation also, if you want to take that down. But I appreciate the opportunity to come and maybe reach some folks that weren't able to make it to those meetings, and update
we're at a pretty exciting point now because the design is complete. MDOT's working on bringing on a contractor. So they're putting the drawings out to get bids, and they'll select a contractor, and then construction will actually start this summer. And I'll go through some of the way that the phasing worked out. It's actually a pretty large project. I can go. Actually, I'll start here. I'll show the project area in a second, but the project is actually going to start construction this summer in July, and it'll start in this area, Grandmont-Rosedale corridor of Grand River, and it'll be a project over 2 years, and so it'll get to Evergreen this year, and then next spring they'll start back up again and continue it all the way to Berg. So especially for this community, I think it's a good time to kind of plug into what's coming, and then also kind of how the construction is phased. So I'll go over a little bit of that. Like I said, the full presentation is on the city's website, and you can check it out and get in touch with any questions. At the May 1st meeting, this was the agenda, and so we went through the full design and the process and some of the phasing for construction. We also had DWSD there to present about some of the lead service line replacements that would happen along with this project. I won't go into that as much, but just so that everybody's aware that part of the project is also folding in a water and sewer project that was already under design and having it constructed at the same time under the same contractor so that it could get done quicker and without having somebody come in, tear the road up, and then later come back and tear it up again. So this was a good opportunity for actual collaboration, and MDOT and DWSD and the city worked together to get that done. So this is the project area, like Pam mentioned, and this came out of the neighborhood framework planning, and the focus on the Grand River corridor was also in two kind of key nodes around Grandmont-Rosedale and Old Redford to try to add some more pedestrian amenities and support the business growth there. When MDOT looked at the project, they said that it made sense to them to do a resurfacing. If they were going to resurface two nodes, they wanted to do a resurfacing project through the whole corridor, which meant that whatever the design was for the street section would need to run all the way from Southfield Freeway up to Berg Road. So it expanded the project a lot and also gave us the opportunity to change the street section for the whole corridor. You probably can't read this, but if you do download the presentation, you can just see the process that we went through. Like I mentioned, it started with meetings as a part of the framework planning to understand what some of the concerns were about Grand River. And then before MDOT even came on board and brought their consultant team to do the actual design work, we had direction about what people were looking for in terms of addressing issues on Grand River. Then they had their own design process that the city worked with them through, and that's been over the last 5 months, I would say. There were a couple large meetings. There were also some focus groups in the two streetscape nodes. And like I said, in May, so May 1st, we were actually able to present the final design. I think the biggest things to just kind of point out are that when you're looking at the road design, a big piece of it is the road section, so how it's striped for different uses, and the way the Grand River is striped right now, parking is not striped differently than a through lane, and so there's a lot of speeding and there's a lot of cutting around traffic. So one of the big things is to stripe parking. The actual section of through lanes will stay the same, so you'll have 2 lanes in each direction and a continuous center turn lane. And then there's the addition of a 2-way cycle track. So one of the things that's always challenged, especially the area through Grandmont-Rosedale, Grand River, is that it's a little bit narrower section and you can't actually add bike lanes on both sides without sacrificing parking. So we knew that that wasn't really an option to get rid of parking. So we have this solution of the protected 2-way cycle track in order to allow to keep parking on both sides, and also it narrows the section a little bit. That should contribute to cutting down on speeding in the area. The other thing that's probably the biggest thing that we looked at in the design was pedestrian crossings. And so we look at the whole corridor and where existing signals are. And we know that there's obviously points that people are needing to cross Grand River that are not signalized, and that's pretty dangerous to existing intersections that could have some improvement. Warwick is going to see a change. So right now Warwick is on the north and south side. They don't line up. It's kind of two different signals. So we're actually straightening out, as a part of this project, we're straightening out Warwick as it's coming north so that it lines up with across the street, and it'll be a fully signalized intersection with crosswalks. And that really kind of expands the right-of-way there, so that big green area will be kind of similar to some of the other gateways in the community. Yeah, everything from Southfield Freeway to Evergreen. This is also a lot of information that I'm trying to kind of breeze through just so that you see it, but definitely check it out on the website, get into the presentation more, and reach out for questions. Oh, sure. See if that works. So the other existing intersection that's going to change a little bit, people might remember the kind of testing of this is in order this is at Plainview and Puritan and Grand River, right across from GRDC, where a lot of people cut through to avoid the light at Evergreen. And this would be actually to close that. And then a future project next year that'll be designed through the city's road bond project would be to actually design that space into something, whether it be a gateway or a little parklet. Besides the existing intersections where we're able to shorten crossing distances and make the pedestrian experience better, there was also an overwhelming kind of desire from the community surveying we did during this process to add additional crossings. And so we're actually, as a part of this project, going to be able to add a fully signalized intersection right at the CBS, so into Grandland. And then throughout the corridor, it'll be 7 additional pedestrian rapid flashing beacon crossings, which I'll show a little bit what that looks like. In terms of the fully signalized intersections, this is kind of a view of how adding the bike lane and being able to put a bump out in front of the dedicated parking shortens that crossing distance so that when you're a pedestrian, you're not crossing 7 lanes of traffic or 6 lanes, depending on where you are. You're only really crossing 5, and so the timing is much better. And also, that 2-way cycle track that you see on the right side, in order to align with the buses, you actually have to have pedestrian refuges, bus islands, so that when you're waiting for the bus, you cross over the cycle track and you're waiting on a concrete island for the bus. And so, again, that helps with bus service and just bringing a lot more pedestrian and non-motorized pedestrian transit amenities to the corridor. The other crossings that aren't fully signalized, that are just pedestrian crossings, those are mid-block, so they're not right at an intersection. And the way those work are that there's a push button mechanism, which is similar to at a signal, but when you press it, the rapid flashing beacon starts on the sign, and when it's not pressed, there's no change. So it's basically signaling to drivers that somebody's trying to cross, and then you look for traffic. But again, with this center island refuge, now you're really only crossing 2 lanes of traffic at once, and then you're in a safe space. So I think probably everybody's experienced trying to cross Grand River and waiting in that center turn lane. I'd much rather be standing on a refuge island. So those are the big elements to the design. And like I said, the plans for the whole corridor are on the website, so if you want to kind of drill into where exactly these crossings are and what they look like, you can do that. These are just some images of actual, rather than renderings, actual pictures of what some of this stuff looks like. So there's the striping and the painting. These are, there's going to be, I think, I'm counting them, five new DDOT spec. This is the new bus shelter, and so these are solar powered. They have charging stations and lights. In the 2 streetscape nodes, so right around Grandma Rosedale, and then up in Old Redford, there's new locations for bike racks and trash cans and benches that'll be maintained by the city. And there's also some additional tree plantings. On the actual bump outs, there's still the option to add some landscaping, whether that be lawn or even some more ornamental plantings, but that's all, we're working through kind of some agreements with some local community groups in this area. It would definitely be, we're talking with GRDC about whether there's the ability to enter into a maintenance agreement with the city to add some more plantings, but the trees are a part of the plan and will go in and be maintained by the city. So just a high level of the construction schedule. Like I mentioned, it's going to happen over 2 years, so that's 2 construction seasons. We're a little late starting this construction season because we've just finished design. So being able to just start in July, the first year, so 2019, that'll be segment 1. So Finkel or Southfield Freeway to Evergreen. Next year, there's 2 more segments that they'll be able to do. So they'll do segment 2 from Evergreen to McNichols, and then McNichols to Berg. After they finish the end of the 3rd segment, so once all the hard construction is done, they'll come back and they'll plant the whole area. So even though the construction is going to happen this year in Grandma Rosedale, so from Southfield Freeway to Evergreen, the plantings that we're talking about won't actually go in until the fall of 2020. So once the construction starts, and actually MDOT has said that once they get a contractor on board and the contractor reviews kind of the proposed construction staging, they'll have another community meeting where you can see the final kind of details of how they're going to post the road down. But they'll always be maintaining through traffic in both directions and parking on one side. They kind of will look at that whole segment from Finkel to Evergreen, and they'll do that portion this summer in 3 phases. So they'll start with the north side, and they'll close traffic on the north side, and they'll keep parking on the south side with a center turn lane and a lane in each direction of moving traffic. Even though it shows that the north side is totally closed, they're still maintaining access to all driveways and roads, and they'll just be closing those as needed to do the water main work and any installation, but that would be more like hours or a day of working time at once. So you'll still have access, and they'll never be closing 2 adjacent streets. So if they're working on one street, it'll just be one street down that you'll be able to turn into. And they'll work with DGC's district business liaisons are going to work with property owners to maintain access to driveways and make sure that there's notification of when that's happening. So they'll do the south side, then they'll move to they'll do the north side, then they'll move to the south side. With all of the new infrastructure already installed on the north side, there'll be parking dedicated, and then they'll still be able to keep the 2 lanes of traffic and a turn lane. And then they'll go and finish up the middle, and that should be getting us to probably around the end of the construction season, which is maybe October, early November. And then, like I said, in 2020, towards the end of this construction season, they'll come back and they'll do the plantings for this area. I wanted to just highlight this website, detroitmi.gov/northwest. That's where all of the planning for this area, we're putting up presentations and notifications of community meetings and updates on projects. But if you don't want to keep checking back the website, you can also click on, I guess it's a little hard to see, but when you go to the website, right at the top, there's this button here that says subscribe to get project updates. You can click on that, put in your email address, and you can actually check off what subjects you're interested in getting updates on. And you'll get the MailChimp newsletter about those subjects as things come up. So that's all I have. I think it was a lot. I probably went over 10 minutes. But
Do you have questions for Michelle? Yes, in the back here. Shout it out.
Hi. I just got to ask a question because I noticed that basically it's all centered on the ground
So I'm not as familiar with, so I'm in the planning department and I'm not as familiar with all the road projects, but I do know that Outer Drive is a county road, and so changes there would be, but, I mean,
But so
we
is
can
Grand
always,
River and so is Springfield.
right, yeah, I mean, actually, a lot of roads in this area are not city jurisdiction, but I was gonna say, we also, my colleague Gustavo is here from Department of
Grand
Public
River
Works.
is a Elizabeth Wayne County Commissioner. Grand River State, Bingle, and Outer Drive are county roads. So we can talk offline about some technical about that. I really would like to say.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
And the city is also coordinating with the county on these things, so definitely, thank you for that.
Yes, Oscar.
Question, there's a section between, on Chalfont, between Ashton and Southfield, that at one time was one way. Now it's two-way and it's a drag strip. We've got small children there, and for whatever the reason, someone in their wisdom decided that it should be two-way. But it is exceedingly dangerous. You can't even cross the street at certain times of the day. If there's anything that you can do to assist that so that the traffic moves one way going west instead of going south and west, because it becomes an easy access to the freeway. And between 2:30 and 7 o'clock in the evening and 6:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning, it's very, very heavily.
Yes. Yeah. What was the name of the street again?
It's
Chalfont.
between Ashton and Southfield.
Okay. Yeah, again, it's not.
It's not fair to beat up on Michelle.
A note and has
All these traffic things. But she's the designer for this project. Other traffic-related concerns, we really need to take to our district manager, LaTrice, McClendon, and see what we can work out. I
But I would say that,
totally understand what you're talking about, Oscar, I agree 1,000%.
Because you come down that way.
Yes, and traffic calming, especially on neighborhood residential streets, is a priority right now. Also with the city, so traffic calming being like understanding where people are speeding through, like real problem areas of speeding through residential streets, especially if it's dangerous for children. And so that's something that is being noted and looked at and trying to be addressed. Okay? Yeah. Anything on Grand River? Sure.
The second meeting that they were supposed to have at Crowell,
Yes.
Yeah, we had 3 meetings, I believe, at Cockrell. So the final design meeting was May 1st.
Other questions for Michelle about the Grand River construction? Yes, Gary.
When you make your, when you start doing construction, are you gonna make any kind of adjustments where you have to, like you're doing Otter Drive and then all of a sudden you're Grand River, you've got a cemetery up Grand River, are you gonna make any, I don't know what the word is, some kind of detour?
Detour?
Like along,
Um,
you're on Otter Drive and you wanna cross Grand River.
Right, so the roads that cross Grand River would be kept open most of the time. It would just be right when they're working on Outer Drive, and that being a major road, I'm not sure they would phase part of that to keep one lane open. That's a really good question for when the construction, the GC actually comes on and is making more specific plans. But even if it was closed, they would reroute, and it would also be for just a short period of time. It's not like it would be closed the whole summer. That kind of thing.
Very good. All right.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for everybody that's been a part of the process and giving feedback along the way. I know it's been a long time coming.
Not as
So while we're making this audiovisual transition, why don't we recognize our Wayne County Commission Chairperson, Alicia Bell. Would you like to come up here?
of course.
You back.
if you are south of Finco. If you are north of Finco, then our newest commissioner, Monique Baker McCormick, is your commissioner. You might have known that's the area from Burton Leland. So if you were, Burton Leland was your commissioner previously, then Reggie Reg, Monique Baker McCormick is your new commissioner. And I am south of Finco. So, good hello, a couple of things. Since you've seen me last, I became the chair of the Wayne County Commission. And to put that in perspective, in the last 38 years, I am the second woman to hold that position. Wow. So, my colleagues voted for me in January to be the chair. So, I'm busy doing chair stuff, but I'm still also, of course, available to serve my constituents. So right now, of course, as always, we do our budget in the summertime. So we'll start our budget June, July, because our start for our budget fiscal year is October 1 to September 30. So we normally start July, August, we vote September, and it's implemented October 1st. So if you have any issues, roads, health and welfare, prosecutor's office, sheriff's office, any of the other elected officials, because they all come before us with their budget, anything that you would like to see in the budget, let us know, because we'll be doing a lot of deliberating with the departments and with elected officials over the summer. I have Tiger tickets as well, so I don't know if you want to raffle those off. I'm going to give that to Pam. She's going to be the bad guy. She's going to figure that out. And then also, Wayne County Park books. If you visit our parks, Hines Park, Elizabeth Park, Chandler Water Park on the east side, please take a book to see all of the wonderful activities that we have in our county parks. And it's important that you do that because you pay taxes to make sure that we have beautiful parks. So since you pay taxes on those, you want to make sure that you utilize those parks. And I will tell you also real quick that next year is the renewal of the parks millage. The Wayne County Parks millage will be on the ballot next year for renewal. It renews every 10 years. So please consider renewing the park millage so we can keep up with the wonderful things that we're doing in our parks. And one last thing, July 18th is my annual Evening in the Park picnic, which is going to be in Hines Park from 5 to 7 on that Thursday. Of course, you're all welcome to attend. And prior to that date, I will have mailings so you can have all the particulars at your home. Any questions before I sit down? Okay, I will also send out these books too. If you can't go to sleep at night, please read. Please read about your county government and what we do and how many meals are incorporated through the program. And I'll give you all also great information about the county, how we were established, how many meals you pay, because you want to know how much you're paying in taxes and what those taxes go toward. Yes.
Hi, Commissioner Bell. I wanted just to give recognition on the Southfield Freeway. It's been cleaned. Usually I have to call, but they've come out and cleaned the freeway, so thumbs up.
Oh, they're doing a lot better job, I know, with cleaning and cutting the grass. Well, I'll give a shout out to the city, actually, because a lot of the grass cutting has been the city. Outer Drive cutting is the county. I'm not sure we've started on this part of Outer Drive yet, but the freeway, so thank you so much. We're trying to get a head start on our cleanup and keeping Detroit clean. Yeah, very, very important. Thank you. All right, any questions, comments? My phone number is on the document that I passed out, and I'll get you all in the back. I have more in my purse. If you ever need me, please feel free to give me a call or email. Thank you. Bye.
Very good, very good. Next up, Island Recognition Awards. Normally we would give these awards at the end of January at our gala, but you remember that whole story. So now we're finally going to give them out. Will the Garden Committee please come forward? Carolyn Murphy, Deborah Tunstall, and Ruth Raben. They do a fabulous job. And we're now going to present the awards for all their recognition.
So I'm Carolyn Murphy, this is Ruth Remus, and Deborah was supposed to be here, but she got delayed, so. First place, 3 years in a row, Warwick between Fenkell and Chalfont won the winner's circle, which is that plaque you see in the plantings on your island. And that goes to Warwick, Jill Lawford is block captain. This island, or this committee has only been together for 3 years. This is the first winner circle that we've awarded, so congratulations. Yeah, you do a great job. Thank you. Second place is Rosemont, from Fenkell to Chalfont. Mary McLeod.
Yes.
Now you can move up into first place next year.
Keep up the good work.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Okay, third place. Glastonbury, Eaton to Linden. There we go.
Good job.
Yes, please.
You go right in.
Hi, I'm Deborah Gatson, and I just want to thank, there are a lot of people from my block here. Y'all stand up and wave. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all so much, because I don't know any of the work the island do. Except my flowers.
Next one. The next one. Okay. The most improved island is Ashton, Eaton to Chalfont.
You guys have done a wonderful job. Just wonderful.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. And our block, would you please stand? She's here. No one has worked harder than Alice. No one has
Next is the most improved island that has a Winner's Circle Award, and that's Ashton, Chalfont to Eaton. I'm sorry.
No,
Best maintained. Best maintained Winner's Circle, that's what it is. Artesian, Chalfont to Eaton.
I've been trying for 2-3 years. She's been in that flower bed forever. Just
Okay, the next awards, we generally do one best individual home, but we found two, and they happen to be right across the street from each other. Okay, so one is 15060 Artesian, and across the street is 15063 Artesian. We have Mrs. Kindred and Miss Stinson, not here tonight. Okay, well, no. Okay. All right.
beautiful houses. I mean,
Yes.
it's gorgeous. Gorgeous made.
Yeah, very good, very good. All right, now we have two honorable mentions. Artesian Keeler to Fenkell.
Keep working on it so you can get into the first. Good job. Good coach.
And Greenview Chalfont to Eaton. Thank you very much. And those of you who want to take your pictures home, they'll be available after the meeting. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Garden Committee, for their hard work.
their hard work, keeping our islands looking beautiful. Okay, next we're going to give Community Service Awards. If the presenters would all come up to the front at this time, that would be great. That's Leonard Weber, Chiquita Spencer, Willie Cockrell, and then Stacy Pugh. Carolyn is not able to be here this evening, so Stacy will go it alone. We're going to start off with Leonard. I should explain, each of the people doing the presenting wrote the nomination for the person who's going to receive the awards. I always ask them to come and present their idea.
Thank you. When Pam asked last fall for nominations for a Community Service Award, I immediately thought of Jean Nunley, a resident of Granville. I got to know Jean at Eliza Howe Park over the last number of years. I spent a lot of time there, and I would always see him arriving every day with his dog and doing the 1 mile circle twice. The first time with a plastic bag, and he would pick up any debris they found along the way. And then the second time around was just for himself and his dog. He was doing it over and over and over. He was there every day. My guess is that this went on for years. I remember observing it for probably about 18 months. And then he stopped. He stopped coming to the park. I found out later that he has ALS, and that has developed to the stage where he can no longer maintain that park routine. He continues to reside on Granville, but unfortunately he's now homebound. Gene has, I think, provided an enormous, unwitnessed, except for a few of us who happen to be there frequently, service, keeping the park clean, no fanfare, no other recognition, and I'm very pleased that RPIA is able to give him that recognition tonight. He's been a real good neighbor to all of us in the city of Detroit.
So obviously Jean is not able to attend tonight, nor his partner Ted, who's with him. But their block captain, who lives right across the street from them, Cynthia, is here.
I just want to get this message from Gene. He wants to tell everyone thank you for the award, thank you for the recognition, and he enjoys being a resident of Rosedale Park.
All right.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Chiquita Spencer, and I'm the block captain on Ashton Street. And I would like to nominate, I did nominate Alice Gilbert, Brenda Hardaway, John McCain, Kim Thomas, and James Edward. And they're not here, but Brenda Hardaway's husband is here and Alice is here. And I do appreciate all that they have done on our island. They work diligently, plant the flowers, and we really appreciate it because as you can see, we did get nominated an award for the most
honor, and I appreciate that, and thank you very much.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Willie Cockrell, and I'm the block captain on Granville between Finkel and Keeler. This is the letter that I wrote to Pam in regards to one of our neighbors that live on Granville in regard to the Community Service Award. And I think it's best that I just read this letter. Dear President Weinstein, Pam, I hereby recommend Mr. Van Nash of 15355 Granville Avenue to receive the Rosedale Park Community Service Award for the year 2018. For the past 35 years that I have known Mr. Nash, he has been a dedicated neighbor in the Rosedale Park community. Mr. Nash has been my partner on Rosedale Park Radio Patrol for more than 30 years. He has consistently paid his Rosedale Park dues. Not only has he helped plant and maintain flowers on our island, he has always financially contributed to the purchase of flowers, topsoil, and whatever else is needed for our island. On our block, we have several elderly households and single women who cannot physically plant flowers, cut their lawn, or rake leaves. And in the wintertime, they are unable to shovel their snow. However, Van takes it upon himself to complete those tasks without being asked and without charging a dime for his services. Whenever me and Marion, that's my wife in the back there, she's a black captain, are out of town, Mr. Nash is in charge of the block captain's responsibilities. We can always count on him to do so and to do an excellent job. I could go on and on in regard to Mr. Nash's unselfish behavior and his dedication to our block and the entire Rosedale Park community for over 35 years. But I think I have said enough. Therefore, without hesitation or reservation, I recommend Mr. Van Nash to receive the Rosedale Park Community Service Award for the year 2018. Sincerely, Willie Cockrell, Block Captain. Mr. Nash, please come forward. By the way, he has his Air Force hat on. I have mine on too, so we were in the military about the same time, but in different places.
Was he surprised?
I don't think so.
He said no.
When I first moved here, I wasn't
Can't hear you.
too
Get
happy.
in the mic.
I wasn't too happy. I thought about buying a new house out in Farmers Hill. And actually, it was about the same price as what I paid here. But I'm happy I moved where I moved.
We are too.
Yes.
Yeah, we are too.
Thank you. So I need some of that work done, Mr. Nash. I'm gonna have to call you, get flowers painted, planted.
I'm getting old.
Thank you for your service. Greetings, everyone. I am Stacy Pugh. I am the first vice president of Rosedale Park Improvement Association. And when we were discussing community service awards, for me, there wasn't any doubt who I would recommend. My recommendation went to Macedonia Baptist Church for their unyielding community partnership and community service with Rosedale Park. I can say, me personally, I have called over to the church. I'm not a member, and I've called over there on plenty of occasions for Detroit Partnership Day, for, I don't know, many events, the cleanups, Southfield Freeway cleanups, and they have always volunteered their facilities and also volunteered people to help us out. Just recently, we did a DPD cleanup in March. I called very last minute. They had another event going on, but they made accommodations for us and let us use their atrium. And so they are clearly a partner of Rosedale Park, and that is why it is with great pleasure that I do present this award to Macedonia Baptist Church and Pastor Charles Twyman. He is unable to be with us today, but we do have representatives from the church. Ivan Johnson, please stand. Thank you. And Ivan, you're a neighbor as well. And Radio Patrol. Yes, so I'm going to read this. And I do want to say that everyone on the board, hands down, approved this, and they were all for this award. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. Outstanding Community Partner, Macedonia Baptist Church, Pastor Charles Twyman, May 2019. In recognition of your steadfast support of and commitment to our Rosedale Park neighborhood, the Rosedale Park Improvement Association, we appreciate all your work and your dedication and partnership. Thank you so much.
Pastor Twyman could not be here, but on behalf of Pastor Charles Twyman and Macedonia Baptist Church, we thank all of you for this award. I am a resident of Rosedale Park, 18 years, and I'm proud to be there, and I'm also a member of Macedonia, and I'm definitely proud to be a member there. Thank you very much.
Now we have one more award, Ben Washburn. Would you please come forward at this time? This is my friend Ben. This is a great picture of him because he's smiling, he's got his hand up, and he's got on his old work jersey on. He's been out doing something, digging in the garden or working on the island, doing something to help people. Here's another picture of Ben on the farm. Not everybody knows this, but Ben's a farm boy from Kentucky. So that gives you a little flavor of where Ben came from. Here's Ben again, running a snow blower. Again, helping his neighbors. He's not blowing his snow off, he's blowing his neighbor's snow off in the picture. Here he is in the kitchen. You got to say, what a wonderful wife he has to let him do this in the kitchen. He's fixing the signs for what used to be the 30-block garage sale, and now we threw him a curveball and made it into a 60-block garage sale. Oh shoot, I've got to get all the signs in and change it to make it 60 blocks. So you see what Ben does in his kitchen. And here's another picture of Ben hard at work at the Christ the King garage sale. So you get the picture that Ben is always in motion and always helping other people. Ben is my personal hero and has been for many years here in the neighborhood. And so that's why I wanted to give him this Lifetime Achievement Award, because of the extraordinary contribution that he's made to our neighborhood. big, comprehensive, formal speech to acknowledge all of Ben's accomplishments. Foolish me. That was before I started to do the research and really dig into finding out about Ben, and I learned it's way beyond me. There's too much to tell. There's too much to tell. Fortunately, Ben gets a lot of awards, so somebody loaned me this one. Moses had presented him an award. It summed up a lot of the really important parts of Ben's life. He's a grassroots person. He's organized more than 100 block clubs, not just in Rosedale Park, but in Northwest Detroit. He's a person who understands finance and grant management. For 13 years, he was the deputy director of the Detroit Wayne County Justice Coordinating Council. Do any of you remember that organization and the work that it did? Social justice, very important. He understands public policy. For 25 years, he was the Legal and Public Policy Counsel to the Wayne County Commission. He also understands the monumental problems we faced in the past and continue to face with education in the city of Detroit. For 10 years, Ben served on the Detroit Public School Board from 1989 to 1999 until, quote, the state stepped in. Dun, dun, dun. So you begin to get at least a little flavor of a very rich, varied life, and enormous accomplishments every turn of the way. Two things I want to really focus on, though, and bear down on hard, are the two most, I think, significant things he did for our neighborhood. The yard sale is the first one I want to talk about, and then I also want to talk about the block captain network. The yard sale, I believe, I'm going to give this microphone to you in a minute, Ben, and you can clean up all the mistakes I'm making, okay? I think the garage sale sort of existed before Ben got hold of it, but Ben is the sort of person who sees something and goes, wow, that could be way better. And then he sets to work. And so he organized the whole neighborhood to participate. For many years, it was a 30-block garage sale, and we divided the neighborhood in half. One half would go one year, and the other half would go the other year. And it worked very well that way for quite a number of years. Ben built it up so that it used to be you couldn't get down the street in its heyday. There would be so many shoppers, literally, you could not get down the street. So people got smart, they brought bicycles. The other thing that Ben did of great significance to our neighborhood is the block captain network, which is something we kind of take for granted in our neighborhood, that in virtually every one of the 60 blocks, there's some kind of a block-level organization. At least there's a block contact, the neighbors are in touch with each other. Sometimes it's kind of minimal, other times it's full-blown. There's a roster, there are meetings, there's parties in the summer, there's progressive dinners in the winter, you name it. And Ben is the person who built that block by block by block by block. He did it, he had a bicycle, and he went and knocked on people's doors and helped them see what an important thing it is to be connected to your neighbors. For a really minimal investment of your time and your energy, you improve the quality of your life astronomically when you're connected to your neighbors. So for that amazing gift that he gave us, now I want you to stand up and applaud. We have some certificates. I'm sure Ben probably has a closet full. That's your Lifetime Achievement Award from the Rosedale Park neighborhood. We are also going to make a donation in Ben's honor to Moses, which is an organization that's near and dear to Ben's heart. I asked Paulette, his wife, and she and the children, I said, what can we get Ben? I don't want to buy a plaque for him. I want to get something that would really, as Marie Kondo says, spark joy. And they all went in a family huddle and they pondered and pondered and pondered. And that's what they came up with. The best way to make Ben happy is to donate to Moses. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it there, and I'm in touch with Ms. Hardaway, and we're gonna work that out. We also have another award that Stephanie Young is gonna present.
All right, my buddy Ben. Hey there. So Pam calls me, she's like, Stephanie, we're gonna celebrate Ben on tonight. I said, I'm gonna get a certificate from the mayor. The mayor needs to know about the work that this young man has done for us. And so on tonight, Ben Washburn, and I had to ask, I said, Ben, just like a lot of people call me Steph, I'm like, is his name Benjamin? Oopsie, it is not. So that's just something else that's good to know about our good friend here. And if you would just indulge me, it says here, a certificate of recognition on behalf of its citizens, I, the mayor of the city of Detroit, proudly honor Mr. Ben Washburn for his Lifetime Achievement Award here in Rosedale Park. For your extraordinary achievement, may your accomplishments serve as an inspiration to others. Signed, Michael E. Duggan, Mayor, City of Detroit, dated today, May 14, 2019. Okay. Speech.
I think I'd better sit down. You know, for 25 years, I was on the other side of the table from Mike Duggan, so I kind of wondered about this. As counsel to the Board of Commissioners,
Yeah.
yes, you know,
Yeah,
he's
that's right.
always on the executive
back,
side,
yes.
and we never got along very well. So I'm wondering if this is...
Is this legit?
Okay, but what I will do is, I'll pick those up in a minute. What I am putting a lot of time into right now is the garage sale, not here within the city or within the neighborhood, but at Christ the King. And I don't know if you've ever come to our garage sale or not, but we open on Friday, this Friday at 1 o'clock. It'll go on for 7 weeks. It'll be 6 days a week, from 1 o'clock until 8 o'clock every weekday, and from 10 until 5 on Saturdays. And, you know, we have probably $50,000 worth of merchandise, a lot of good stuff. And you won't believe it if you haven't seen it before. It's like going into what do you want to call it?
An antiques roadshow.
No, I'm trying to think.
You'll love it.
Yeah, right. Just like in the second-hand store, that, you know, we are way beyond there.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever you need.
Yes, whoever you've gone to. St. Elizabeth Hall or whatever, we have at least 5 or 10 times more and better stuff than they do. So come on over, you know, and we want to see you there. What it does do allow us at Christ the King, though, is to enable us to use and allow others to use our facility free of charge, such as the Grandmont Neighborhood Association. They have their annual meetings there, their dinners. The Brightmoor Alliance, Paws of Detroit, a whole lot of different organizations, nonprofits, do take advantage of our facility, and it's the extra income that we get from the garage sale that enables us to do those kind of things, which serve this Northwest area in a larger sense, not just Rosedale, but Rosedale as well. So I had to get those words in, and so if you really want to, you know, thank me, come on up.
Come on up.
And spread the word. Okay, thank you very much.
But that's not all.
But that's not all.
But that's not all. No, you have a seat here.
Okay.
It's Pam's turn. We got her good then. So normally at our annual dinner, we usually give our president, whoever that might be at the time, a nice token of appreciation, right? And why would we do anything different this time around? Because we're celebrating in May. And so what we would like It's this beautiful, it's this beautiful, turn the other, turn. Oh, the house. Where, there we go, we get it. Here we go, there. Yes, so you come here and help us out. As many of you all know, I don't know anybody who knows the address of every neighbor in their community. I'm 54 years old and I'm good to know the addresses of my own family. I sent Pam an email the other day. I said, Pam, this gentleman called me and I wrote the wrong address. She said, oh no, he lives at 12347, so. And boo, boo, boo. Oh my God, who does this? But our illustrious president does this. She is living, breathing Rosedale Park, and we so appreciate her. We thank her for her leadership. We thank her for her vision. One of the greatest things that she did was starting to celebrate our new neighbors. I told her when she first did that, I said, that's amazing. Nobody else, you guys know, I was your district manager. I went to hundreds of community meetings, and no one did that. And so that was her brainchild, to be certain that people are welcome in our community. And so to that, Pam, we all say thank you. If you mind joining us, get to your feet. Let's celebrate our very own president. Where's Miss Mary? Also, she was a president as well. This is her handiwork. Thank you, Mary. God bless you. There she is.
Well, they got me good. I didn't see that one coming at all. And Mary McClendon is the most amazing quilter, and that is the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to all of you. You're dear to me, each and every one of you, and I'm just humbled to be the president of your neighborhood association. It's the joy of my life. Thank you. Thank you. We do have some new neighbors here tonight. I see a couple right now. All right, so we have 10 more new households since we last met in the middle of March. So that's 10 more new households in 60 days. Wow. Rosedale, we are hot, hot, hot. So Tiffany and Dustin Bishop purchased this home. It's on the corner of Ashton and Eaton. You may be familiar with it. It's been undergoing rehab, and so a new young couple has purchased this home and moved in. And I don't think they're here tonight. I don't see them, but it's right across the street from Bonnie's house. So, but I did meet them. They seem like lovely people, and they're very happy to be here. This home on Ashton, between Chalfont and Eaton, some of you know it as the Forge. Some artists bought it before. Right. Some sort of interesting things are going on there. That apparently has been sold, and we don't know if interesting people have moved in or exactly who. We haven't connected with them yet. Chiquita and Joe are on the lookout to see when they're going to show up. New neighbors on Rosemont, I don't think they've moved in, but someone has purchased this home. This is on Stephanie's block. And we have new neighbors on the next block up between Chalfont and Eaton. We have the next door neighbor, Trajan, has met them, but the block captain hasn't been able to connect with them yet. This is a beautiful home. Pardon?
I have a question about that. I don't know if I should ask it now.
Go ahead.
The garage faces my end, and the people before them and the company that purchased it never painted the garage, so we have to come by and see. I was going to ask tonight, what do I do? Because I talked to the company several times, they promised me to paint it. I talked to the painters the day they painted it, and it's still not painted.
All right, let's talk.
Okay.
You know, offline when the meeting's over, we can address that. So I was running around delivering my little invitations. I go and put a little invitation in the mailbox of each of these addresses, and lo and behold, Carmen and Michael were home. Come on up.
Say something?
Yes.
I happened to have the day off work, so it was very serendipitous. My name is Carmen. I grew up in Southwest Detroit. Michael and I were living in Woodbridge over by Wayne State, and we just bought this is our first home. I guess a little bit about myself. I work as a nutrition and health educator at a nonprofit in Detroit called American Indian Health and Family Services. And I'm also a birth worker, so I'm a doula, and also an herbalist. I'm a self-proclaimed plant nerd. And we haven't done any work on our garden yet, but we look forward to making it look prettier. It's very barren right now. So I'm really excited to be here, and seems like a very welcoming and very tight-knit community, and just feels, I'm very thankful. It feels very surreal in some ways. So it's a really beautiful thing that you have going on here.
Hi everybody, my name is Michael, and yeah, just echo what Carmen said, we're really, really excited to be here. This is our first home, and yeah, to be able to walk into a community that's as strong as this is an amazing blessing, and yeah, we're not taking it for granted, so thank you all for being so welcoming. I'm a musician. I'm a pianist and composer, and most of the work I do is in the jazz-oriented world, but I also compose for all sorts of different things, sometimes like for theater or for film or for concerts or that kind of thing. Also, I'm a piano teacher, so if anybody has any kids or you yourself are looking for piano lessons, let me know, because yeah, I'm a piano teacher as well. So that's what I do, and are we missing anything else? Yeah, we're just really excited to be here, and thank you all for having us.
Delighted you're here. So another mysterious new neighbor on Greenview we haven't been able to connect with yet. Jordan and Andrea on Glastonbury. We're going to try to be here. I met them on Sunday. Jordan is a ceramics teacher at Oakland Community College, and Andrea works at College for Creative Studies in like the alumni services area, maybe, something like that. So they just bought this home. It's right at the head of the island on that block, next door to the block captain is their next door neighbor, Leonard. So we look forward to hearing more from them in the future. Nicole Stores. Are you here, Nicole? Yay! Come on! She also is living next door to the block captain, yes. Deborah La Violette. Here, tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, my name is Nicole. You can call me Nikki. I'm a graphic designer. I work out in Farmington Hills. I lived in DC for a little bit, then I moved back here, and this is my first house. So thanks for welcoming me, and I'm so excited to be a part of the community.
The Artesian Mafia. So I have to explore mine. Across the street neighbor is Aaron Stores, and we think he might be a cousin of Nicole's. So we're going to find out more about that. London and Eliza Scott. Are either one of you here? I met London. Eliza was still at work when I dropped by, and he was going to try to make it. He's an actor, and he had some acting classes. He wasn't sure it would be done in time for him to come tonight. So I think they have a 2-year-old that comes along. It's a package deal. So this is a beautiful house. This was...
They have one on the way.
Oh, okay. So baby on board. Okay. Keep those cards and letters coming. All right, so there seem to be lovely people. They spoke well of you, Donna. They met you already. All right, and Robert and Ava Long on Minnock. I haven't met you, but you've already paid your dues. So this is on Minnock. It's on the little dead-end block of Minnock. It's right next door to what used to be Lee Hollandcrest House, that New Century Modern, sort of Frank Lloyd Wright-ish house. This is the one right next door to it. That's like a little serene alcove off of the main busy highway that you were hearing described before on Outer Drive. So there you go, a whole batch of new neighbors.
All right.
Next up, June Day Parade and Picnic. Carolyn Acby, Nancy B. Zarekis, are you in the house? Come forth and tell us about who? Come on up.
Hello, everybody. Glad to see you. You know, every time you see my face, what am I doing? I'm asking you to do something. Remember? I'm always asking you to volunteer to do something. Guess what we are asking you for now? We are asking you to volunteer for June Day, which is a fabulous celebration of the neighborhood, a welcoming of the babies, the new neighbors. Kids get to show off and tell you what they've done in school that's been correct. Old folks get to show you how many brown spots they got, you know, all that kind of stuff, all that kind of homey stuff, okay? So June Day is June 1st. It's going to be between 10 and 2. We go to the park and line up at 10 o'clock. At 10:30 we start the parade. And then we walk from Stokel Park over to Acacia Rosemont Park, which is a small park on Acacia and Rosemont, okay? And some of you who don't want to walk can drive over. You can push your baby stroller over. You can ride a horse if you want to. You gotta have somebody to clean up. Otherwise, I have a piece of paper I'm gonna ask you to sign somewhere in this meeting to come and do stuff. Now, Pat is always there. Pat Brown over there. Pat always is there. So is Ruth. But Ruth can't come this year. Ruth, would you please stand? I want you all to know what you're missing. This is Ruth. She always handles the garden, beautiful stuff, and teaches kids about plants. She won't be there this year. So we need somebody to be in her place.
Some of you garden people, nice island people, you know, you want to do this, keep this going, go march right up there and sign up.
So if you got a newsletter, my name, Carolyn Acby, is in one of those articles in there somewhere. My telephone number is 313-493-0824. They usually want people to volunteer in 2-hour stretches, but have some fun while you're there. We got a great neighborhood. We got great neighbors. You know, I went to a funeral a week ago, and there sat Ben Washburn. I said, we had a whole delegation from Rosedale, and I was happy for us. We got new babies being born. We got folks celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. Stretch your stuff. A lot's happened to us since last year, so let's sit and talk at the June Day Parade and picnic. Okay,
right.
Thank you.
All right, Ms.
I'll turn around for your signature.
Well, thanks, Carolyn. I don't think I have anything as folksy appealing to say. My name's Nancy B. Zarekis. I've been involved with a lot of events around here, and this upcoming one is June Day. We always have June Day on the first Saturday of every June. So mark it on your calendars from now on. First Saturday of every June. And I do have some sign-up sheets regarding the planting. It's really a very simple job. It's a little cup where the kids and the adults come and put dirt in it, a seed, water it, and a little stick with what it is. So it's not a complicated thing, but you need about 3 people to keep things going. And we usually, I think, have like maybe 200 people show up for the picnic. And they thought about 50 people went and did this last year. So we could not do it if we don't have people to do it, but if you're wanting to spend a little time at the picnic and that doesn't sound like too much work, please, let us know, sign up, put your number there.
Ruth is Nancy?
Yes.
Okay, so that picture behind her is my husband, Chris. And we're gonna be at a graduation in Boston for our son-in-law, so he always took care of the games.
So that's another slide.
Right, yeah, we need volunteers, there's no question about that.
The biggest slot to fill is to keep the kids all happy. Chris, I'm sure, will give you everything that he has, the jump ropes, the balls, the whatever, but that is really an important thing to keep the kids entertained and doing stuff, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need that person too.
And everyone that comes gets 1 or 2 hot dogs, depending on what we're doing this year, chips, something to drink. There's bouncers for the kids, there's 2 bouncers.
Face painting.
Pardon? Face painting. I mean, I can't remember half the stuff. We also need people, every year we have them, who cook the hot dogs, and we probably have some people that are doing that, but we have to wrap them so we can hand them out. The Castech band is going to be here, right?
Yes.
They were here with a fabulous show last year, and they're coming again this year. So it really is a good day, right in your neighborhood, 5 minutes away is that. So I'll pass these out as soon as I finish talking so you can sign up. Now, a couple people asked me to do 2 other things. One is our safety meeting that comes up June 27th, and that's here. And I hope all of you are signed up for the Grandmont Crime Alert list. That one of the many things we email out to people in the neighborhood to keep you informed about what's going on. In our safety meeting, we have, different speakers, police, etc., to come in and answer questions and give us information. That's June 27th. Very important radio patrol. We have really a quite good one. We have almost enough patrols to cover the weekdays. We do have some weekends too. I think it has to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, radio patrol in the city. And they always need more people to do that. It's 2 hours a month. You can go with a spouse, with a neighbor, with a friend. It doesn't really matter. I go out with someone that I only see once a month when we do radio patrol, so I really look forward to it because it gives us a chance to talk to. So far, we've never had the opportunity to tackle any criminals. We're watching. We're watching. So that's another thing, and that's Kathy Rowland. I'm going to give you her phone number, 313-320-7185. But it's a lot of fun, and once again, as Carolyn was saying, we have a really great community, and these kind of events put you in closer touch with people, and it really gets you more involved and more enjoyable. Okay, I should stop. We don't have questions, do we?
Questions for Nancy about June Day? Some of you retired school teachers, I think you would be really good at these jobs, working with kids to plant seeds or helping organize the games. That doesn't let the rest of you off the hook, but I especially have my eye on you, Susan Ramos. Right? All right, so I've just learned that Wayne County Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick is here. If you'd like to come forward and say a few quick words. Are you still here? Where did you go? Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick. I represent District 6, which is north of Finkel. So if you live on the north side of Finkel, on this side, I would be your commissioner. I was elected in November and began my first term in January. So I am 5 months in now. And just to briefly tell you about a couple of my initiatives, and I have a handout for you that talks about them. I'm working on what is called the War on Trash, It's to fight blight, and it's an educational component to our Detroit public schools. I am working with Cook Elementary School, Emerson, Burns, and Ludington. And basically, we're just trying to educate our young people on the importance of loving where they live and to don't stop and drop. That's the campaign we're trying to feed them. Don't stop and drop. So don't pull over to the side in your car and drop stuff out. And then their assignment is to go home and tell their parents, don't stop and drop. So that's one of the initiatives. And then I will have what is called Getting to Know Wayne County. When I was campaigning, most people don't know what Wayne County does, but we do have a $1.6 billion budget, and I want to make sure that more of those dollars come right here to our community. We spend about $400 million every year on mass incarceration. I want to see more of that money used for job training, vocational programs. We have a great facility right here in Northwest Detroit, Randolph Vocational Center, that has all type of training programs for our young people and young adults. So maybe at some point I'd like to come back and really talk to you about the initiatives that I'm pushing for in our district. One other thing, on Memorial Day, May 27th, I am sponsoring a memorial wall for veterans. So it's a veteran wall of honor. And this is at the new District 6 office right at James Cousin in Greenfield. So if we have any fellow veterans, I am a veteran of the United States Army. So if we have any veterans that live in the district and you would like your name put on the wall, please contact my office. I am also on the special committee which Commissioner Alicia Bell, who was still here, appointed me, and I was grateful to her for appointing me to that committee because that is near and dear to my heart. And I do have a handout that talks about some other initiatives, but thank you so much, Pam, for letting me get a few minutes with you. If you have any questions, my phone number is on this flyer as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner McCormick. We appreciate you very well. All right, let's see. We've got a few other little items to take care of here. I'm going to bring this to an exciting finish. Get my visual aid here. All right, so did anybody talk about the block sale? Not officially, formally. Okay, so a new improved version of the block sale this year. We're going to do it 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. I hope you picked up a couple of the flyers on the table out front. Last year it rained on us pretty darn good on Saturday. It was pretty much of a total loss. And so people said, well, why don't we try doing it 2 days? That way if it rains again on Saturday, we'll at least have Sunday. And that's what people sort of informally did last year. So we're going to give it a try. You speak, we're willing to hear you. So we're going to give it a try, see how it goes this year. Stacy, did you want to say anything about
Yeah, just a couple things.
Couple new wrinkles.
Yeah, just a couple new things. So, I'd just like to ask, who has participated in the garage sale previously? Show of hands. All right. So, what we decided to do, again, Pam just said we're going to extend it a couple days. We're going to bring a little bit of technology to it, in that if you register to actually sell something during the weekend, we're going to put your address on a map where people can actually download it or visually look at it on their phone, and they know that you're actually selling something. And there will also be a very high level description of what you have, meaning clothes,
lawn, yard sale, yard tools and furniture or whatever, very high level. So that's something new. And we're also going to be doing a bit of advertising. We used to do it before when the block sale was extremely popular. We haven't done it in many years because, of course, that costs money. So what we talked about is if you're interested and if you really want to sell something, we are asking people to register, formally register, and then also pay a small fee of $5. That $5 will go toward and absorb the advertising cost of getting your address on the map, getting all the information there. We're going to make sure that Fox 2 News, we're going to do a big blitz. So we're hoping that we can at least get 50, that's kind of our baseline, homes to kind of to participate. So we're asking people to go home now and start looking at things that you can sell. Your junk is definitely someone else's treasure, and you can make a couple dollars off of things that you have no idea that people would like. So we're just asking people to sign up. You can either do it online, so you can go ahead and sign up online. We'll have that out for you soon, a link. Or you can go up to the flower shop, and I should know, the Garden Bug on Grand River on the corner of Stahalan and Grand River at the Flower Bug, Garden Bug. And you can pay the $5 and you can register there. So those are the two ways that you can register. $5 is a very small fee. Talk to your neighbors. You guys can get together, put your stuff together, and if we have 10 or 15 houses on one block, we're doing a discount for $3 a house. Again, it's really not to make money. We're not trying to make money, but we are trying to advertise. We are trying to get people to the neighborhood, and then we do want people to sell things that they may no longer want. So, thank you.
My question.
Yes.
So, if you don't register, can you still sell?
You can still sell stuff, but they're not going to know that you're selling anything. Except by driving by.
Right.
Yes.
So are you doing registration tonight? Because I went online and I didn't see where
She said it was coming soon.
Yeah, that's going to be coming soon. So the sale is going to be at the end of June. So we should be getting a link out fairly soon for people to send it out. And we're going to utilize the weekly newsletter that we e-blast that we send out. So hopefully you're connected there. But if you're not, then you can just stop and see me, get my information, and then I can send you the information when we get it out online. But right now, if you want to do it, you can go over to Garden Buzz. All right, thanks.
Yes.
Good job.
Does anybody remember these? Raise your hand if you do. When did we have these?
Before I moved here.
80s. So, shall we reissue the bumper sticker?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to order up a new batch, and everybody who pays their dues can pick them up. We're going to have them for the... You pay your dues, you'll get the bumper sticker. Does that seem good? Is that a good idea?
Wait, is it a real bumper sticker or the little vinyl?
How about appreciate?
Is it a real bumper sticker or the vinyl thing?
No, it's a real bumper sticker. Okay.
Can we do a combination?
The vinyl ones are like
They're really
super expensive.
Gotcha.
Okay. This is like 40 cents.
Okay.
And the vinyl ones are like close to $2. Yes,
Okay.
ouch. So I can't I just want you to appreciate, are Phil, Schloop, and Frank, are you here? Frank's still here. Is Phil here?
No,
Yeah.
I know.
An amazing amount of work. These two guys, Frank and Phil Schlick from our board, they were just all over it. The amount of debris and overgrowth and garbage and just stuff that was cleaned up on DP Day, which was back in March, and then just a few weeks later, we turned around and did Motor City Makeover. We picked out 2 different islands. They were sort of the 2 worst islands in Rosedale, maybe, which was Penrod between Linden and Eaton, and then Faust between Linden and Eaton. men with chainsaws, I gotta tell you, and people with tree trimming tools, look at the difference that was made literally in a matter of hours. It was astonishing. You see Jim Dwight there with his tree trimming tool, taking care of some limbs. We made an amazing difference. If you haven't driven down those blocks recently, please go check out the amazing work that got done, and also along the service drive, a big improvement, So I'm really proud of that. This is an amazing neighborhood. Everybody pitches in. So there's your radio patrol meeting. If you didn't get the details before, it's Tuesday, June 18th, the next meeting at 6:30. Kathy Rowland will be happy to sign you up. It's really simple. You will get trained. We're not just going to throw you out there in the street on your own. There is a training, and it's really a fun way to see the neighborhood. So I encourage everybody, if you haven't signed up, give it some serious thought. Any other announcements, anybody? Ruth, come on.
We have new t-shirts along with the hoodies. So if you wanted a new t-shirt, we also have navy now in addition to burgundy.
On Thursday, this Thursday at 2 o'clock at the Northwest Gallery of Art, which is on that same block by Feed and Soul and Page's Bookshop. Right next to Page's is the Northwest Gallery of Art. And this Thursday at 2 o'clock, there's going to be a presentation by the DIA. It's under their program that's called Behind the Scene. And so what they do is send a docent from the DIA who does a presentation discussing various works of art that are at the Art Institute. This year the topic is called Hearing Our Voice, African American Art. And Asia Hamilton, who is the curator of Northwest Gallery of Art, has a new exhibit that is up. We'll get to meet Asia a little bit, and she will tell us about the matching grant that she received from the Knight Foundation. There's no cost to attend, but she will be telling you about her matching grant, and there will be a pass the hat, so to speak, to help her meet her needs to match the grant. So 2 o'clock this Thursday at Northwest Gallery of Art. Come to hear about African American art, hearing our voice.
All right. Very good. Other announcements, Frank?
Give two old guys a chainsaw and look out. Anyway,
Yes.
the next project is, I found out GRDC has a big commercial riding board, but no way to move it around. So I found a used trailer that I bought. Phil and I are in the process of rehabbing it, and so we can keep the service drive moved.
Amazing, completely amazing. I'm dumbstruck. They're amazing, the two of them. There's no stopping them. We're very lucky to have them. All right, everybody. Other announcements? Going on? Oh, wait, Carolyn's got another announcement.
This is a commercial for the Detroit Police Department's training program for neighborhood patrols. It's 6 sessions. It gives you a lot of information. I didn't think I'd be as interested as it was. We went on a ride along with the police, and you get to know the policemen, and you get to see how they respond to situations, real life situations. And we dealt with lesbian, gay, transsexual kind of issues, kids, domestic violence, when to shoot and when not to shoot. And I don't always shoot up somebody in the workshop, so y'all watch out for me. But it's an excellent workshop. Please join the Neighborhood Safety Patrol and take this training. It's excellent.
What's the name of it, Carolyn?
It's the Detroit Police Department Citizens Patrol Training.
Citizens Patrol Kathy Rowland's name and contact information is there in the lineup, the listing of all the different officers and so on. So for more information and to sign up, contact Kathy Rowland. Okay then, it's been a great evening. Thank you so much for spending it with us. Thank you, everybody.
All right.